Yes, Superman is off people in the comic books, and we're going to show you when, who, and why. What's up, my comic comrades? Superman is well known as the incredibly OP Big Blue Boy Scout who is not a fan of taking lives, even when it is seemingly justified. But the truth is, Superman has snuffed out some life candles on multiple occasions in the comic books, both in the main continuity and Elseworld stories or alternate realities. In fact, Superman's first instance of knocking someone off is in Superman issue 1. In the story, Superman rescues some men from a military torturer, grabbing said torturer by the shirt with him saying, "Let me go. What are you gonna do?" Superman replies, "Giving you the fate you desire, you torturing devil," as we see Superman pick him up over his head with one arm and toss him like a javelin over trees. As captions say, for an instant, Superman poises the torturer over his head, then tosses him away as though he were a hurling javelin. The torturer vanishes from view behind the grove of distant trees with a pitiful wail. That's right, Superman just threw a normal human being like a javelin hundreds of yards over trees. There's no way he survives that. He's getting impaled by branches or breaking his neck. You see, Superman didn't establish his moral code, so to speak, until after the 30s, because this isn't the only instance of him offing people early on. He would also punch the propeller blade from some plane, shattering it, causing the plane to fall to its doom, which is exactly what a caption says, as we see the pilot is still inside. We even see Superman take a bunch of bombs from an aircraft and then throw them at a munitions plant, blowing up the plant and everyone inside. The crazy thing is, while he's throwing the bombs at the plant, he says, "This will be a square hit." A caption then reads, "As Superman's bombs strike Earth, the great munitions work is destroyed and emits terrific carnage." Yeah, because everyone inside has been blowed up. Then an enemy blimp tries to attack Superman in the sky, but the Man of Tomorrow is like, "Yeah, not today," and rips a massive hole right through it, with a caption yet again saying, "As Superman tears the great balloon apart, it falls to its doom." Yet again, the Man of Steel not saving anyone inside, just letting them fall to their unalivement. Let's give you one more example out of the plenty there is from the Golden Age. We also saw Superman come crashing into a villain's lab while saying, "I'm gonna give you the fate you deserve," for promoting this war and profiteering upon the death and misery of others. The villain says, "Back, this glass vial contains a portion of terrible gas. Another step forward and I'll smash it." Superman replies, "You're bluffing. Give it to me." Superman then steps forward to grab it, at which point the vial is accidentally dropped, causing it to smash on the ground, releasing the deadly fumes. At this point, the man says, "You fool, see what you've done? We'll both die horribly. Help me. The pain, I'm choking, I can't breathe." But Superman just watches saying, "You're only getting a taste of the fate you plan to doom others to." The man, while choking, says, "Don't you just stand there, blast you. Why don't you just die?" Superman replies, "The gas doesn't affect my physical structure." As the man falls to the ground and passes away from inhaling fumes, with Superman walking away saying, "One less vulture." That's right, Superman just stood there and watched him go to permanent sleep. He was hardcore in the 30s. Super's essentially just Punisher with superpowers. He was just unaliving bad guys left and right, didn't care about nada. Over the years, Superman would develop a moral code that we all know him for now, where he rarely ever resorts to killing. He always finds some other way, at least most of the time. There's still sometimes, even in the modern era, where he's killed a fool. First example of that is in the New 52 Justice League title by Jeff Johns. In issue 22 of the series, we see the Justice League going up against the JLA, as they were two different teams at this point in time, and Superman's solar energy causes Dr. Light's power to accidentally go off and blast Wonder Woman. An enraged Superman grabs Dr. Light saying, "Get away from her," as his eyes light up with heat vision, and Dr. Light says, "Superman, I'm so sorry," but Superman, not saying a word, just melts his head off. Superman then looks down at what he's done, saying, "No, I didn't mean to," with the Justice League and JLA in shock, as Catwoman says, "Superman killed him," as Supes is asking himself, "What have I done?" Now, I will say, in the very next issue, we see that Superman didn't do this on his own accord. In fact, the Earth 3 version of Atom, Atomica, did it. We find out that when the Justice League was going up against the JLA, she went into Superman's brain with a sliver of kryptonite that she took from Batman's ring and hit a nerve that triggered his heat vision, causing him to kill Dr. Light. So even though Superman didn't mean to kill Dr. Light, he still killed him nonetheless. The next time we have that Superman unalives someone is in Superman Batman Absolute Power. The instance I'm going to be talking about takes place in issue 14 of the Superman Batman title written by Jeff Loeb. In the story dubbed Absolute Power, members of the 31st Century's Legion of Supervillains, Lightning Lord, Saturn Queen, and Cosmic King, go back in time to kill members of the Justice League, except for a young Batman and Superman. Instead of offing them, they raise them as their sons. Because of this, once Superman and Batman reach adulthood, they have been raised to be evil dictators, killing anyone who opposes them. And in issue 14 of the series, Batman has tracked down one of the last vigilantes running around, Green Arrow, and decides to gift it, so to speak, to Superman for his birthday. So when the world's finest team arrives in Star City to capture Green Arrow, a fight ensues with Green Arrow initially being able to hit Superman with a kryptonite arrow, but that only momentarily knocks him down. However, as Supes is recuperating, Green Arrow and Batman fight, but once Superman gets back up, he doesn't even say anything. He just completely vaporizes Green Arrow from behind with his heat vision. And after he does, he says, "Obey or die." Superman didn't even say anything. He just disintegrated him with his heat vision. And after he's already 6 feet underground, decides to be like, you know what? Obey or get unalive. But wait, it gets better as Superman killed yet another time, this time in the very next issue, issue 15. Being the dictators that Superman and Batman are, a bunch of other heroes try to oppose them, like Deadman, Karate Kid, Colossus Boy, and other members of the Legion of Superheroes. Eventually, Wonder Woman gets in Batman's face and the two start battling. Wonder Woman is able to get the upper hand, allowing her to deliver the fatal blow to Batman, stabbing him through the heart, saying, "Die, oppressor." Superman sees this from above, saying, "Bruce, no," at which point he flies down and screams, "Mother, fathers," while holding Bruce's lifeless body. He then takes Bruce's body back to his mother and fathers and then sets off to get revenge on Wonder Woman. And I'm talking about brutal revenge. He literally flies back down to Earth and just starts laying hands all over Wonder Woman, at which point he steals her lasso and says, "You took from me my brother, my family, my life," while tying the lasso of truth around her neck, pulling it so hard he snaps it / suffocates her. Moving along, we have the storyline at World's End from 2001. In the story, the living embodiment of entropy, Imperiex, is like, there's imperfections in this universe, so I'm gonna go to the Earth, annihilate it, and create a new Big Bang in order to create an all-new universe that is perfect. Making his way to Earth, he destroys entire galaxies. This dude has become such a threat that the Justice League and basically every supervillain on Earth, even Darkseid, strike an alliance to fight a common enemy. Because if Imperiex destroys the universe, no one lives. The problem is Brainiac, one of the villains that aligned himself with the heroes and other villains to fight Imperiex, betrayed them. Shocker, I know. Instead, he decided to bond or absorb Imperiex, gaining his power so that he can enact his own plan to rule and take over the universe. This all led to a final confrontation in Action Comics 782, where every hero on Earth makes one last Hail Mary play to save the universe from the combined might of Imperiex and Brainiac. Long story short, it all comes down to Superman to save the day, who was able to push Brainiac and Imperiex through a wormhole that takes them all the way back to a microsecond before the Big Bang, where Superman leaves them to be destroyed by said Big Bang. Yet another villain sniped. Keeping this train rolling, we have one of the best Elseworld stories ever written, Superman speeding bullets. In this alternate reality, baby Supes was found in his rocket ship by Thomas and Martha Wayne. They would raise him as their own until that one day they left Monarch Theater and were walking through Crime Alley, where they were robbed and murdered by Joe Chill while Clark was forced to watch. However, the stress, anger, sadness, and sorrow of watching his parents be murdered in front of him set off his powers, specifically his heat vision, melting Joe Chill's face. With the cops finding Joe Chill the next morning face down in an alley dead, saying, "Body burnt almost beyond recognition." Then of course we have one of the most famous Superman snuffs of all time when Doomsday and Superman take each other out in Superman Volume 2, Issue 75. This is one of the most popular deaths in all of comic books. Superman and Doomsday are trading blows back and forth that are so powerful shockwaves cause skyscraper windows to shatter. But eventually they both deliver a fatal blow to each other at the same exact moment as we see Superman kill Doomsday, but Doomsday also kills Superman. This is actually a main continuity kill, much like the next one that took place in Superman issue 22. In this issue, Superman is up against 3 Kryptonians who had killed billions, committed complete genocide. These 3 Kryptonians wanted to do the same thing to every human being on Earth. Because of this, Superman decided to use gold kryptonite, which negates Kryptonian superpowers given to them by the Yellow Sun. Because without powers, they're not taking over any world. But even though Superman uses the gold kryptonite and it worked, the 3 Kryptonians tell Superman, "You may have robbed us of our powers, Superman, but that will avail to nothing. We will find a way to get them back. We will find a way to get your reality, and we will destroy you and your world. You cannot stop us. You cannot even return us to the Phantom Zone." Superman can't return them to the Phantom Zone because it's been destroyed, at which point he says, "You're right. I have no idea how to rebuild the Phantom Zone projector. Nevertheless, I am forced to find a way to stop the 3 of you once and for all. You have ruthlessly murdered all the people on this planet, 5 billion humans. That is a crime without equal. The Nazi Holocaust pales by comparison." They say, "And what can you do? You who wears the mantle of Superboy, who shares pathetic idealism. You cherish life. even hours, and that is what makes you weak. Superman then grabs green kryptonite and says, while you are powerless now, you are still Kryptonians. What I must now do is harder than anything I have ever done. But as the last representative of law and justice on this world, it falls to me to act as judge, jury, and executioner. As he exposes them to green kryptonite, slowly killing them as they plead for mercy, which isn't given. He just slowly watches them fall into permanent sleep as a single tear falls down his face as he leaves this world and returns back to Earth. For me, this is one of the most hardcore Superman kills ever. And again, it's main continuity and it's 3 of his own people. He knew he had to off them or they would keep coming back for innocent lives. Now, I know a lot of you are like, what about all the times Injustice Superman is killed? Well, one, everyone basically knows about that because Injustice Superman is an evil tyrant Superman and one of the most popular versions of Superman at that. So I feel like it's more or less common knowledge, but yes, Injustice Superman, he offs people all the time. He accidentally killed Lois, his wife, he killed Joker, Shazam, and many other heroes and villains in the Injustice series. And the last Superman snuff we're going to talk about is from Action Comics issue 583. In the issue, we learn that Mixia Spitlick, who is behind the murders of some of Superman's closest friends and allies, such as Lana Lang, Jimmy Olsen, and his dog Krypto. Superman eventually comes face to face with him, and Mixia Spitlick basically tells Superman, I got tired of annoying you. I need to step it up and make it more exciting. So I decided to be truly evil and kill your friends. At this point, Mixia Spitlick turns into a more threatening, evil-looking version of himself and tries to off Superman. But Superman is able to use his Phantom Zone projector on him, and while Mixia Spitlick tries to get away back to his home dimension, he is torn between being pulled into 2 different directions, killing him. Lois then says that terrible scream is he. Superman replies, torn in half between dimensions. He panicked when he saw the ray and made a fatal error, just as I knew he would. I killed him, Lois. I intended to kill him. I just couldn't risk letting anything that powerful survive, so I made up my mind, and I did it. I broke my oath. I killed him. That's right, guys, yet another in-continuity kill by Superman, who straight up told Lois Lane, I did it on purpose. I couldn't let him off anyone else. And with that, we have several instances of Superman smoking fools in and out of comic book continuity. Let us know which instance or scenario of Superman taking life you think is the most compelling or shocking down in the comments.